Welcome to The Pivot Place. I'm your host, Victoria Coit, strategist, pivot advocate, and believer that your next breakthrough is just one shift away. Here, we dive into bold conversations with leaders, creatives, and changemakers, exploring the moments that redefine careers, businesses, and lives. Let's get into it. Today, we are honored to have Jamar Clarke as our guest. He's the executive director of the Upstate Minority Economic Alliance. Jamar is dedicated to fostering economic development for professionals of color in Central New York. In addition to his leadership of UMEA, he is a serial entrepreneur. And beyond his professional endeavors, Jamar is an active community member, volunteering with organizations such as the Rescue Mission, the Police Athletic League, and Willow Street Foundation. He's also a proud graduate of SUNY Cortland and a devoted family man, cherishing time with his wife and 2 daughters. Welcome, Jamar, to the Pivot Place.
Yes. Thank you. I've been looking forward to this.
Great. So, Jamar, let's just start off with who is Jamar Clarke? That's a loaded question, as you can see.
Loaded. I like to say I'm a personality. I'm a brand builder. I'm a family man, and more importantly, I'm a transparent person that's just trying to pave the way for everyone, including my family and others around me, and just, elevate talents. I'm a big guy that believes average is not good enough, and I've come to terms with that. Probably now that I'm 40, in the last 6 months, I've turned 40, and things have become more real now than ever in the best ways, but and a clear mind setting as well as knowing what's best for me and what I can do and my talents and how I can drive the community to just pick everything up.
Okay, a brand builder.
Yes. And that's let me tap in. I'm a brand builder at heart, so that's why I'm a serial entrepreneur, because I like to build a brand.
Yeah.
It excites me to see people buy in, and it excites me to see it succeed. So that's why.
Absolutely. Where did that come from? As can I just say that the term brand is really like something in the last probably 20 years that we've all sort of cleaved to, and understanding what a brand is. Outside of corporations, right?
Yeah.
Just your average person saying, oh, that's on brand,
Yeah.
Just even understanding that. Where did this come from inside of you to be a brand builder? And what is your furthest memory back of you recognizing what a brand is and you saying, oh, I want to build one? And what was your first brand?
So if you ask me, every individual is a brand. You're a brand, I'm a brand, he's a brand, she's a brand, right? Yeah. It's not just about the Nike, the Reeboks, and all them. It's about you as an individual. And that's when I really recognized it, is when I opened up a gym. I started to realize that people were buying into my motion, my movements, my excitement, my motivation, my energy, right? Energy is contagious. And then once I realized there was a certain opportunity there, I took it and ran, because it was, to me, it was God telling me, like, Jamar, you're bigger than just corporate. You're bigger than just a day-to-day. You are a visionary, and people love what you're doing. And that's when I said, you know what, Jamar Clarke is a brand, and everything I'll be a part of, I'll make sure I go into it the same mentality. But also knowing that if Jamar is a brand, relationships are important, right? And relationships are everything to me. And I'm not a transactional guy. I'm a relationship guy. I like to build for longevity. And not temporary. And that's, to me, that's an important. Everyone's definition of success is different.
Yeah.
Right. My definition is how valuable you are to others and how valuable you are to your family and how long you can sustain that. Right. And it's not about the money. It's just about being real and building relationships and saying, building a legacy, and for people to walk away and say, he's a good guy. Yeah. That's a brand to me.
Yeah. Okay, so you said your gym. Was that the first brand that you built? Or if you look back into your childhood, was there any type of brand in there?
You know what? You just took it deep. So I've always grasped and embraced the leadership part of sports, right? Even if I wasn't the best player in the team, you better believe everyone knew who I was, right? And I always took that and ran with it. Like, okay, I may not have the best skill, but I'm going to be a voice, right? And I'm going to lead the team to know there's some confidence going on here and so on and so forth. So, I took that, and I was captains of a lot of teams. I was, I like to say I was a good player for a lot of teams, you know what I mean? But that's when I really realized that people were relying on me, right? It's being put in situations, game time situations, practices when coaches are like, yelling at me more than anyone else, but just because expectations were set high. And I have to really give a lot of props to my childhood as a whole. Just being around kids all the time, being outside all the time, and really stepping up and saying, you know what, Jamar, bring the group together and let's achieve what we all came here to do. So
okay, you mentioned sports. What did you play?
I was a baseball player.
Baseball. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's funny, I think, is when you and I first met. And this is on brand for you now that you're speaking, right? You introduced yourself, I think, but I felt like I knew you already.
Yeah.
And I tried to think back to high school, and I was like, did I meet him somewhere? Do I know him? And I kept saying, do I know him from somewhere? Because he acts like he knows me for real, for real. Like,
even if I don't know you, I know you. That's the love I give.
Yes, no, that is so on brand because I would see you and you'd be like, hey, and I'm like, maybe I know so and so that knows so and so, but I don't know.
Right.
And so you've really mastered that. You mastered that, and that's dope. And you mentioned relationship building being important to you.
Yeah.
Building relationships, maintaining relationships. What can you tell the audience about a key to building relationships? Because I feel like everything that we hear about building relationships is so cliche, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, but what is that certain something what is your secret sauce to relationship building?
I think at the end of the day, I go into every conversation and every relationship saying I want to be a part of you forever, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm saying that in not an intimate way, but like we can be best friends forever. We can be associates forever. There's ways that we can build things forever. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest issue comes into play is when people are very transactional, right? They see you as, what can I get from you? Or what do you do? What can you do for me? Mm-hmm. Right? And that's not my style. I'm a more or less, who are you first? Mm-hmm. And then how can we build second? Right. Mm-hmm. And I love to find talents within that people don't even know they have. Right. So it's like I talk to people, and I think my wife tells me this all the time, and shout out to my wife, Trish. But
hey, Trish. Hey, girl.
She tells me all the time. She was like, that's not your friend. Right. Mm. And I'm always like, it's my friend. And then over time, I'm like, she was right. That's not my friend. Right. Yeah. So there's, and I've learned this the hard way. I've made a lot of decisions, business decisions, personal decisions based off of my friends' influence, right? Mm-hmm. Based off my family's influence, right? Mm-hmm. So I come to terms, especially now that I'm 40.
Mm-hmm. You keep reiterating this. I feel like you had some like illuminating moment and you turned 40.
40's been an incredible year to me. Yeah. You know why? Because I have clarity. Mm-hmm. And I've had some healing that's happened. Mm-hmm. Obviously there's a lot going on in the past couple months, but I've had some healings happen personally that, I realized there were distractions. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that there were values that I had that they were taking advantage of, and yet it wasn't reciprocated, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a certain loyalty and certain faithfulness and all those things that I'm willing to give immediately, just off the bat. That's just me, But when certain situations happen and the smoke is cleared, you realize like, man, I was blind, right? So it was a bunch of smoking mirrors, and again, it doesn't matter the relationship, whether it be personal, a family or a friend. It's just like, okay, you're a distraction, right? When I say distraction, I'm not just saying I'm saying mental energy. Mm-hmm. When you bring negative energy into the space, you start losing sleep at night because you care for individuals, whether it be friends or family. You start to realize that's slowing your pace down to proceed, right? To move on to the journey, move on to the legacy, move on to what you were put on this earth to do. Mm-hmm. 40 is like that halfway point for me. Like, I ain't gonna say 50, I'm gonna say 40. So for the next 40 years, I devote quality, I devote authenticity, and with any relationship I have, and that starts with my family first, right? So that's where I'm at in life right now, and I appreciate it, and I'm grateful.
Yeah. So this is the pivot place.
Yes.
I don't know if I mentioned that, but we always got to mention this is the pivot place. And 40 was a pivot for you.
Correct.
Right? And probably leading up, there was these signs that something had to pivot, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's how just life is, right? And going through and having these relationships and sometimes wanting more for other people than we want for ourselves is a thing. And also understanding when we look back, like you said, after the smoke clears, how valuable we are as individuals. And that's why people are going to run towards the light, right? And sometimes we don't realize how much light we have. When you realized how much light you really had, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but when you realized, was there a point where you were like, oh, okay. You said something to me a while ago, like, I know how valuable I am.
Yes.
And it made me say, well, shoot, let me realize how valuable I know. Let's go. Like,
Okay, let me stop you right there. Okay, I'm very humble.
No,
okay.
you didn't even say it in a non-humble way, but you said it in a very astute, like, if this is what it is, I understand my value, And I was just like, the power in that, to understand your own value, that it made me think, like, let me understand more of my own value too. And since then, like, my shoulders went back a little, my head, like, and that encompasses everything, who you allow around you, what type of energy comes around, all those things. So talk to us about that.
V, let me first and foremost say, I'm privileged and honored to be on this podcast, right?
Thank you.
Because of you. Like, I was very excited because like you said, I don't think you realize the value and the skill and the influence that you have on Syracuse and beyond that, right? So it's like, when I talk about energy, your energy was contagious. Good energy is contagious, and I feed off of that, and I think it goes mutual, right? So it's like, I see that in you, and those are the people I want to be around long term, right? It's the people that understand, the people that are not greedy, the people that want to succeed. And when success is used all over the place differently, but you just want to elevate, but at the same time you want to be impactful and intentional. And I love that, right? And that's really what brought me to Umia. Is like, okay, I'm a business owner. I've been a business owner for almost 2 decades, right? I've made a lot of mistakes. I've had some bad partnerships. I've had some good partnerships, but all of it is, I didn't lose. I learned, right? Yes. I got grays in my beard right now, which is crazy. Like, I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, I got grays. Like, this is becoming real, right? Yeah. But I just see it as wisdom, and I embrace every second of it. But like, when it comes to just acknowledging and recognizing who's in front of you, that has become more authentic and genuine more than ever. So.
So let's talk about this UMIA, this Upstate Minority Economic Alliance.
Yeah.
You started as a board member.
I did.
How did you first find out about UMIA?
That's funny. I don't even know. I think I don't really know. All I remember is my intention to get into UMIA originally as a business owner, when I found out there's a Black and Brown Chamber of Commerce, right? So, I took a little while to reach out to Michelle, and I finally did, and she got back to me. We had a nice long conversation. And then I realized, like, after seeing what was going on, and no shade on anything, but like, I just wanted more. I wanted more, right? I wanted more for UMIA. I wanted more for the people around me. Like, I came from a single mom, 3 brothers, right? I came from some troubled childhood, humbled upbringing, and I just wanted more because I did it, right? So I've been in trouble. I've been arrested. I've been all this other good jazz. All the mistakes you make as a kid, right? I've been through it all, right? The typical I hate to say it like this, the typical city boy, right? But now look where I'm at now, right? So I said, there's something I'm going to do. Is build a legacy. Is I'm gonna do everything I can to make it and put in that effort to build the city around me as well. I moved to New York City when I got out of college. I moved back home. When I moved back home, Syracuse was in a bad place. Yeah. I couldn't believe I moved back home, and I don't want to ever have that feeling, right? Again, so now that I'm here, and I'm in a position of leadership, I have a plan, and God has a plan for me too. It's just to really, elevate things and allow people to see the bigger picture. Average is not good enough. Yeah. And that's the reality of it, right? So, back to your question is, I joined UMIA as a member, and then I became a board member, and then shortly after there was an opportunity to become executive director because my predecessor was stepping away. Yeah. So I did so with. It wasn't about anything more than just like what I just mentioned. It's just helping elevate Syracuse and the small businesses in the area and really building, which a lot of us are afraid of. And there's a lot of fear there. It's collaboration, right? Old stuff doesn't work anymore. And I'm trying to embed that into individuals. Like we have to have an open mind. We have to let down some fear, and we have to, build some trust within our community or our peers to make a bigger statement, because together everything will be much larger, from the voice to the presence to everything. Right. And going alone, things are going to continue to be the same, right? And it goes back to that greed we talked about. Like, there's no reason to be greedy. Just take a little bit. A little bit can go a long way. Right. Right?
Right. Okay. So...
I'm sorry, I'm going in right now.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was trying to, to come and see where I want to etch in from that.
I'm going in right now.
Okay, so now you're the executive director of UMIA. You're a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
You're a father.
Yes.
You're a husband.
Yes.
And you are a family person. Yeah. I would say you also have a mother.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And brothers and all these things. How do you stay balanced? Do you believe in balance?
If you're a true entrepreneur, balance, and I'm gonna be transparent, balance is hard, right? Maybe not even there. And there's one thing that I pray for, and there's one thing that I want to do every day when I wake up in the morning is just be a better father, right? So I got daughters, which has been a blessing to me because I have 3 brothers. I got no daughters. I got no nieces, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I got no sisters. I got no nieces, right? So God gave me daughters.
3?
3, right, and my wife, right? So I come home to an environment that sometimes is sensitive, right? And
yes.
And it has taught me a lot when it comes to patience, understanding, right? It's almost like I hate that we're both, the same creatures. We're humans, but we think different. We respond different. We deliver different, right? A male to a female, and that has taught me a lot. My wife, more than anything, again, shout out to her. She's an old soul, right? She's an old Italian girl, very family oriented, and I wasn't. I wasn't growing up. I wasn't. We were pretty much on our own, right? So going through, I've been married for 8 years, with her for 10. Just going through what I've gone through the last 10 years has made me realize a lot, and how crucial it is to really, whether you're a single mom, whether you're with your husband or vice versa, it doesn't matter. You got to cherish those kids and make those moments for the kids that value. You just have to embed family, right? You have to embed family because that's how family is lost. I was always a person that said, "Hey, how's Johnny doing?" Talking to whoever. Oh, I haven't talked to him. I'm like, man, you haven't talked to your brother, right?
Yeah.
Back then, I couldn't understand that. Now I do, in the sense that everyone has their own path. Everyone has hurt. Everyone heals a different way, right? So as you see individuals grow, it almost seems like you see that hurt more than ever, right? And then you're like, all right, he needs some healing, right? But it's unfortunate because at the same time, you have your family as well.
Yeah.
All right. So as we grow in our household between our siblings, we also grow separately within our families that we have built. And I'm lucky enough to find someone that has embedded and really valued what family tradition is, because that's hard to find these days. So when I hear friends talk about whatever's going on with their significant other, right? Or single individuals talking about what's not happening.
Yeah.
I feel lucky more than ever, because there's a certain piece that's missing, but then you have to make sure there's happiness involved, right? So my kids are everything, and as you know, you have one yourself, you know what I mean? Your daughter is the world to you, right? My kids are the world to me. So no matter what's going on during the day, when I see them, when I see my daughters, it just lights up the room. I'm good. So, you know, that's where I'm at with that, V.
Okay.
You know, so.
Can you identify some pivot points in your life that, like I always say, that those moments that change the trajectory of your life, willingly or unwillingly, that you were going down the road this way and something happened that just either tweaked you to the left or the right a little bit, and it just changed your direction and your mindset?
I would say number one is finding out I'm not unstoppable. Number one, right? It's really like considering others, right? I would say another is just going through business, partnerships, friends that you think are friends that are really, again, that are there for the value of you and what you bring to them. Family, it was just crazy to say, is that look down on you because you may not feel the same. You may go a different direction. You may be succeeding, so you may look, you may be the bougie. You know what I mean? Like that thing. So it's like they kind of hold you down, right? So when we say pivotal, I would say my most pivotal point is when I became a business owner. Is going through trial and tribulation. I was 25 years old with my first business, right? 25. And I was in a partnership that it went sour, but it was because of my lack of knowledge on what business should be and where it should go, right? Yeah. So I didn't lose. I learned. Yeah. Right? I walk away and I learned. Although I felt terrible for walking away, I learned. I learned a lot about that, right? So from that very moment at 20, I owned the business at 25. I walked away by the time I was 27. So 13 years later, here I am today. But I've made mistakes. I've learned from them. And there's one thing I've promised myself is I would never make the same mistake again, especially not a mistake that will affect my family, right? So you talk about first pivotal point is becoming a business owner and learning the hard way that everything is not all that it seems. Right. One, I went into business just thinking you own a business and open up. I didn't know you need X, Y, Z, to make things really come together and happen. Right. I didn't know the real world yet. And then the feeling of betrayal. Yeah. Right. So betrayal is unreal. Right. Feeling a betrayal and not knowing what's going to happen. The unknown is killer to me. And at any situation, anxiety and the unknown could knock you on your butt, right? But it really matters what you do when you get back up, right? So, I started another business, and then I realized, that's when I really realized I was a brand, right? Because I left this business to move on to the next business, and I had a ridiculous following. I was humbled. I actually moved to Denver at the time when I left the business, and I was going to start a new career, and then I realized that working for somebody wasn't for me, And then I came back, and all these people were waiting for me. Open the doors, and before you know it, took off, right? And then, and me being transparent, this is transparency, right? I got too big for my bridges, right? Like, success became early in my life. I started to forget about the important things in life, right? And I started to build a relationship with my current wife. And I just lost track. I didn't take it serious, right? So, that was bringing her in my life at the time I brought her in was very crucial. It brought me back down to level. It brought me down to reality where I ain't shit. Sorry. You know what I mean? So that's how it was. Moments. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's why I appreciate my wife, because people like her are the ones that, everyone needs a checks and balance, and that's her, right? Mm-hmm. And she ain't afraid. Like, I think I'm the funniest person in the world. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot to get her to laugh, because she done heard it all. You know what I mean? She's like, I done heard that already. Like, so I'm like, just give me something. Right. But anyways, so then, I say a pivotal point is when I became a business owner. 2 is when I met my wife. 3 is when I had my kids. Okay. That's when the world turned upside down, and in a good way. You get what I'm saying? That's when I was like, I'm here for a bigger reason, and here I am today. And I will say 4 is right now being the executive director of UMIA is like, here's my opportunity to be a true leader and really make an impact. I don't know how long my time is here, but I know while I'm here, things are going to, upgrade. Things are going to be changed, and things are going to be looking great. And that's my only goal, and my mission, and having you a part of that makes things a little bit, more visible. So I love that. Wait, y'all wait. We got a lot coming too.
Absolutely. The one thing I like to ask entrepreneurs, and especially serial entrepreneurs, is what is your routine, right? We know that a routine can make or break a person. And do you have a routine? Just something that's a daily practice for you that sort of sets things in motion. What does that look like?
I love this. This is time management will make or break you, right? Mm-hmm. That's one thing I've learned over the years is making the best of the time you have, okay? So I used to think about, schedule me an hour. Mm-hmm. It ain't about that for me no more. I was down to 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. What we have to talk about in 30 minutes, let's get right to it. Right. Let's keep it valuable. Let's keep it very fruitful, and let's keep it moving, right? Because I got to move on to the next thing. So a 30-minute, block schedule has worked for me a lot. But at the same time, as an entrepreneur, how do you turn it off, right? So what I find is because of that, I don't speak for everybody, but what I find because of that, Mondays is my day where it's kind of free. Like, I'm planning. That's my Monday. Mm-hmm. Friday is like I'm planning. Monday and Friday are my planning deal. So you don't see me at a computer or laptop doing much. You'll see me having meetings, doing all this, setting up more meetings for the next week, and taking advantage of that.
On Mondays and Fridays.
Mondays and Fridays, okay. Right? So I end the week with, all right, what didn't I do? Let me push that on to the next week, right? That's on a Friday. But Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm nitty-gritty, emails, laptop, kind of the administrative work, the footwork, like all that stuff. That's when I have my true meetings outside the scope, I would say, right? So not the backbone or my team. So I keep it within that. And the reason why I do that is because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays is I devote that time to everything to build the business, right? So I'll be honest with you, I own two other companies. One Drip is a gym, and then I own a center of influence for technology and energy by the name of Select, right? And then I'm the VP of group benefits for my financial firm, and then I run UMIA, so I got a lot going on. So with that schedule, to me, there's only enough time in a day. I still have a family, right? So I just keep Tuesday to Thursday, everything fits within there, and I only make fruitful decisions on who I'm meeting, and that's period. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and you have to decide that you can't meet with everybody. Not all money is good money. Not all relationships are good relationships. Right on. And you have to be strategic and intentional. So,
no, I love that answer. So Jamar and I met at a mastermind called Profound, I guess officially, even though I thought maybe he knew me from back in the day because he was on brand.
Shout out to Profound.
Shout out to Profound.
For sure.
And one of the founders of Profound, it's Adam Weissman, Jeff Canals, and Arel
yeah, my dogs.
Moody. And so one time online, Adam Weitzman put up a post that said that he was looking for folks he was backed up. It was after Thanksgiving. And many may know that he answers all of he responds to all of his social media, which is hundreds and hundreds of people a day.
Yep. And he's on another level.
On another level. Mm-hmm. So that's Facebook, Instagram, IG. He answers folks that inbox him. And you may ask, like, why would a billionaire do that? Mm-hmm.
For sure.
It's crazy. So anyways, he put out a post that said, I'm backed up on my messages. I need some help, right? So I wrote him and I was like, I'll help you with your text, right? So I end up driving about an hour and a half away to help this man with his text. There was 4 other people there. And I would say this is crazy because it was such a profound moment for me inside of that to be there because it taught me so much about exactly what you just said, time management. Mm-hmm. So picture this. We're at his desk. It's about 4 of us around.
This is the first time hearing this story, by the way. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I wanted to write about it, but I was just like, what am I going to say? But this is what I'm going to say. So we're at his desk. It's about 4 people around. He owns like a recycling plant, a steel recycling plant. And we're all signed into his, whether some are in IG, some are on Facebook. I was in his IG and just answering and then, going back and forth. But we would answer the text and I hope he doesn't mind me telling the story, right? Too late, right?
It's all good. I'm thinking like, dang, was I talking to you, V? But I lied. I'll just text him if I need to talk to him.
No. But he's actually answering the text. But it's going like an assembly line, right?
Yeah.
You pull it up, say so-and-so said, you show him the text.
Yeah.
He says, and he tells you how to respond.
Yeah.
You go back and forth. In the meantime, there's about 4 or 5 different $1 million / whatever dollar deals going on that he's doing. He's interviewing a new chef at a restaurant. Yeah. He's doing this, he's doing that. And I'm like,
the guru.
I am learning. Yeah. Like, if anything, like, and he invites us out there to pay us to help him do this thing. And I'm just like, I'm learning so much about not 1 second of his time was was wasted.
Yeah.
And I was just like, geesh, at the time, I'm like, I'll lay down for a little while and not do a damn thing. I have to use this. I'm like, how can I apply this to my life? So it's so interesting that you said that with the, I think 3-4 hats that you just named, different companies, VP here, executive director there, and blocking out half an hour productivity, intentional moments in your week. Mm-hmm. Do you meditate?
You know what? First and foremost, shout out to Adam Weitzman before I move on. That's a dear friend of mine, and he's a motivator and he's inspirational to me and to many and to you, obviously. And exactly what you said. He's a brand.
He is a brand.
He's a brand, right? So when you talk about brand, is what experience do you give your people? And he's about that, and I love that about him. But going back to your question, what was your question, Evie?
Do you meditate?
Oh, do I meditate? Yes. No, but I was talking to my business partner, and I said, I need to start meditating. I got to wake up in the morning and just kind of be free, right? Not think about nothing. Just breathe. Just hone it in and just breathe. And I've been given suggestions to follow an app here and there, but I don't want that. I want the real thing.
Like you want to go to South America.
Yeah, like South America, Thailand. Like, I don't know what it is, but like I like authenticity. So I want to, if I'm going to go through it, I want to be put through it. So I learn the proper way and then I can carry that on. But I literally say that my partner has a spot in Tully. He has a private lake, right? And he goes cold dipping, like he jumps in the lake cold. All right, like he'll send me videos and
plunges,
I'm like, cold plunges. He'll jump in the lake and I'm like, he ain't coming back.
Now he's not coming back.
He ain't coming back. Right? He started driving in. I'm like, he gone. Thanks. I call his wife. But anyways, stuff
so
like that. Being with him, he's on the same. Although we're different, we have the same intentions and the same mindset, right? So it's like, he tries to encourage me and motivates me to, feel that spiritual self and really test the body and the mind. And I appreciate that about him, right? So I used to, quick story, I used to eat a lot of meat. Obviously I was in the gym business, so I used to eat a lot of protein and stuff. And as a colored person, high blood pressure is just...
Did you say colored?
Yes.
No. Okay.
As what do you want me to
As a
black,
person
brown?
of color. No, a
as
person
a person
of color.
Okay. Listen, high blood pressure is real, right? It's like whether you want it or not, it's real. So with that being said, I come to find out that I had high blood pressure. Not that I just had high blood pressure, but I was going through kidney failure.
Wow.
Right? So it's probably something you don't know about me. Right? So they say when you lose the percentage of work in your kidneys, that you don't get it back. Right? So let's say you had 100% and you drop down to 60. You ain't never going above 60. Because that's just the way it works. Once you lose it, you don't get it back. So I had to make a big shift, pivotal moment I didn't mention. I had to make a big shift in my life. Right? And that's really what made me think about like stressful moments, distractions, right? How I was eating, how I was taking care of myself, because I was like, damn, I'm here for a larger reason, a larger purpose, and I had to fix myself. So now I'm a pescatarian, right? So I eat fish, I eat vegetables and do all that good jazz, but it has changed me dramatically. And again, it's just going back to just distractions, right?
Yeah.
It's just trying to clear your life, meditation, and just like feeling your body, finding who you are, right? And I find out who I am more and more every day.
Amen.
Yeah.
So we are running out of time. We need to schedule a part 2 because we just be sitting here all day and you guys will just be looking at us like, come on now, wrap it up.
Come on
so
now.
Thank you, Jamar, for coming. I want to ask you what your favorite quote is to just sort of round this conversation out. And we'll definitely do a round 2 and get some feedback from the audience of what they want to hear from you as well.
My favorite quote?
Yes.
My favorite quote is probably, you don't know what you don't know until you know. And the reason why I say that is because you take risk, you make decisions, and you don't realize whether it was a good decision or a bad decision until it's all said and done. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like you don't know what you don't know until you know. And when you know, it becomes a learning lesson, not a loss.
Who said that? Dr. Seuss or you? Who said that?
You know what? I have to get a shout out to my financial partner, Matt Jacob. He's an OG. He's been around for a long time, and that's what he tells me all the time. He's just the realist. He's just transparent, and that's what he says. It's like it's okay to make mistakes because you don't know until you know.
Right.
You know, so move on with life and continue to grow and make yourself better.
Amen. Well, thank you, Jamar.
Yes.
Take care.
I love this girl. Keep that recorded. I love this girl.